Okay everyone, welcome back to my channel, Beagles Games Guitar. Today's video, I'm going to be doing a solo playthrough of Finspan, specifically Natoma. I'll give you a little bit of the lay of the land if you haven't played. So overview of the solo, you're going to be doing a card system over here, where you're going to draw a card and just follow the instructions 1, 2, 3, 4 as best as you can. And you're going to play year round, pretty much normal. I'm not going to play the Ravel mode, which is a variant here in the back. I haven't done that yet. I feel like it kind of deters away from the original intent of the game. It even says right here it's a slightly different version than the multiplayer, and I think just the bass solo is good enough for me because I can't even win. So I'm going to play difficulty 2, which is what they recommend you start with. So Automa's going to score differently than us. They're going to get 3 points per card that they get and 5 points per school, 1 point per young, and half a point per egg. That's all they're really going to do. They're just going to kind of gather resources over here in a little pile, and then I'll just be playing my game like normal. So I'll go ahead and draw my 3 starting fish here. And look at that, I got the cover fish, the sailfin flying fish. More quick overview stuff. You have your typical zones, your sunlight, your twilight, your midnight. You must follow all the rules like normal. Some of the cards that say all players here, you would be giving the Automa 4 eggs. That's all they're going to be earning whenever it comes to the all players. And just as a little reminder here, on your turn, right here, Automa gains 4 eggs from the supply instead of the all players ability. So that's a simple substitute. You're going to score like you normally would at the end of the game, and then kind of like Wingspan does, these cards will tell you to add their little player on top of the week track, which let me go ahead and just do the basic one. So at the beginning of the week, there's some cards here that say on the calm difficulty, which I'm doing level 2, if we're doing the eggs and or young, they're going to have a base value of 3. And for each person that they add up here to the week scoring marker, round marker, it's going to add to that. So they can never take away from the base, even though some of these symbols say take away. You can't have less than 0, so base of 3. So my objective for this round would be to get at least 3 eggs and or young to at least keep up with them. I've noticed that I always end up losing by just a little bit or tying, and it even says in the end of the rule book here, if it's a tie, you win. In the event of a tie, you win. I like that because I have won because of that. I'm going to go ahead and start my first action by playing a fish. I'm going to play the smooth cheek lantern fish. They can go in the twilight zone or the sun zone. It's going to cost me 2 cards. I'm probably going to do the all players action cards and get rid of those because I kind of don't want to give him cards. I'm going to start thinking about rows up here. Let me scoot that down a little bit more. So I'm going to place it right there. It can go in any column right now because he's not restricted by a color. So when played, I would actually get 2 eggs. And then I'll draw 2 cards. The unicorn fish and the Chinese trumpet fish. That was my turn, just like normal. And Automa's going to go after this. Over here, Automa will draw a card. It's saying to add one of their little meeples to the top. And that's drawing a card. If the drawn card has the all players ability, I get it. It is not, so they're going to get the short spine Spur Dog. And you're just going to put it there face down in their pile. And that was their turn. It's a really quick and simple card system. So it'll go back to me here. I kind of want to get the base game fish out. So I think I will play, not the base game, the cover box. Play another fish, the sailfin flying fish. I want to get rid of these all player actions. I'm going to try and stay away from giving them points. Has to go in the sun in the blue. So very specifically right there. When he's activated, I get to return one of these cards back to my hand. Don't necessarily want to do that, but I will if I have to. So now Automa is going to remove one of their workers. And I forgot to mention this. There's 8 cards. I'm playing with the base ones. I think that's all there is. And you shuffle one of the cards out whenever each round. So removing, so if they had 3 young, they would turn it into a school. If they could up to 4 times turn eggs into young. They can't do any of those, so you just go down the list until they can do something, and ultimately it's just 2 eggs. Now going back to me, I don't have a card or an egg to get rid of to pay for this Chinese trumpet fish. And I don't have fish with those fins, so right now he doesn't seem like a good option. I'm pretty maxed out on eggs, so I think I'm actually going to get cards. So I'm going to dive. I have a fish in this area. Going down, returning a fish back to my hand. All players, these are pretty much all players moving. The bonefish is nice. I think I'm just going to get the one that has the most points, because why not? So no fish in this area. I have a fish in that area. Wow, I have 2 bottom feeders here. The grid-eye fish and the abyssal halosaur. And I'm kind of running out of room showing you my cards. Oh, didn't look at it. At the very bottom, I'm bringing a fish back. And probably to fill out this twilight zone, I'll do the skipjack tuna. So I've taken 3 turns. They've taken 2. This is their 3rd turn. They're going to remove again, but they can't go negative. So they're going to draw a card. And if it has all players, which it doesn't, wow, another bottom fish. So that was their turn. The ones where they draw a card is really simple. You don't have to do any converting over here. I'm still thinking ahead of the rows. I'm doing good with the eggs. If I get this little skate right here, he would cost 3 cards. So I'm going to get the ones that cost like the most eggs for this round and kind of get him out there. So he can go sun or twilight in either side. It's not specified by color. So he's all players. I was trying to avoid those, but with the cards that have been drawn, I kind of don't have a choice. So we'll go back to Automa. They're removing yet again. So 3 young to a school, they don't. Up to 4 eggs to young. So what happens is I get 2 of these. But since I'm getting 2 more eggs, I'm just going to leave the eggs there. So that's just showing their resources right there. 2 more turns. The cards kind of help you keep track. They have 2 turns. I have 2 turns. I can't play the skipjack because I need more cards. And hatching right now would be silly. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and get even more cards. So I'm going to draw. Wow, another bottom feeder. Crazy. Bringing someone back. You know, I might just go with this bottom feeding thing. Now I have a fish there, so I get a card. Ooh, look at that. So now all players get to move a fish somewhere or a school. So I think I am going to move him there. They would get 4 eggs as a result of me being nice to them. And now another fish. Wow, another one that can go at the bottom. So now here's their 5th turn. No moving or moving of the meeples, but up to 4 eggs into 4 young. They kind of get a nice little pile going. And then 2 eggs. So ultimately they just paid 2 eggs for 4 young. So the cards could be like a little rearranged, but you just do a little bit of quick math in your head and then you got it. Now I said I was going to go think ahead for these rows. He cost a card and an egg. He cost a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of him. So that's my card. My egg will be this guy. Whoa, that jumped out. So, whoa, that really jumped out. So I'll place him there because he can go in the twilight zone also. So now I have 2 rows for next round. I lost an egg for this one, but that's okay because now they're going to add a meeple to week 1. So they do have 3 young. A little math converting, but I'm going to go ahead and just do it. And now up to 4 eggs into 4 young. And then now 2 eggs. And so that was the end of week 1. We're going to do a quick little scoring here. Week 1 scoring, we'll put me here, Automa there. Nah, Toma, I should get used to that. So 1 point per egg and or young. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I got 4. They have a base of 3 plus their 1. So we tied for week 1 scoring, 4 points each. They will remove their worker. We'll go to the next week. You grab their 8 cards. You give them a good little shuffle. And then you will just remove 1 from the pile. And then there's these cards right here. You'll cycle it to week 2. So now rows of fish, they have a base of 0. So that's really good because I already have 2 rows. So I have 4 points right here. It'd probably be good to try and finish this out just to be really ahead of the game. So you start every round. So we'll go ahead and kick this off. I have a lot of bottom feeders down here, and I'm not so worried about eggs anymore. So he can go in the twilight zone, but I kind of want to take advantage of that. So let me first go ahead and play this pudgy cusk eel. Get rid of the dragon fish, and he costs 2 eggs. We'll place him down here at the bottom because I'm going to try and get a lot of cards. Into the game, I get to lay an egg on each of these fish right here. So that'll be nice. Altoma is going to convert up to 4 eggs into young and then get 2 eggs. So just a little switcheroo right there. Back to me. I think I'd like to get cards, like I said. So I'll go ahead and get a card because of the top row. 6 gill shark, huh? Bring someone back. That one would be nice. The abyssal halosaur. Get another card here. A wrasse, humphead wrasse. All players can move a young. I'm not going to, but regardless of me activating it or not, he gets 4 eggs. I get a card here. And then at the very bottom, I get to bring someone else back. And why not? We'll just do the bonefish. Nice and simple. He could just be like payment. All right. Adding someone to the week. Drawing a card. If there is an all players, which there is. So I'm not going to move my young. Dang, what a waste. Back to me. I think I'm going to get some eggs. I kind of have a system here that I'm thinking about. Here, there's an egg right there. And then as the bonus right here, I'll get this egg. Altoma is going to add another worker and then draw another card, and it doesn't have the all players symbol. I think now I have what I need to pay for my fish. So up here, I'm going to play a fish. I'm going to play the abyssal halosaur. He cost a young. So I'll play him right here. When played, a fish on the bottom level. I can play a fish on the bottom level. So I'll play this grid-eye fish for his cost of 2 eggs. And when played, an egg on each of the fish in the bottom. So that was kind of a 2-egg exchange. Dun, dun, dun. So I basically spent 3 points to get 3 points, plus the 6 from the fish. So I guess a 9-point swing, sure. That felt like a big turn. They're going to remove one of the workers. 3 of their young will turn into a school. Up to 4 of their eggs will turn into 4 young. And then they will get 2 eggs. Sorry if the pile's going off screen. I will show y'all all their young later. They're going to have quite a bit of young. Now that I did this big turn, I'm kind of stuck on what I want to do. I have 3 rows, like I thought. I could try and go even further. He cost a lot, though, and he needs to be on top of another fish. So I think I might actually start hatching. So I'm going to hatch the one right here in the middle, because we're trying to go for schools the next round. There's another hatch right there. Unfortunately, this is all players hatching. So I could hatch there. That gives them 4 eggs because I'm so nice to them. And then down here lets me move a fish, or young. And now the bonus lets me move another young, which will get me a school right there. Going back to them, they're going to remove a worker yet again. Draw a card. All players action. No all players action. Didn't necessarily need it. And I guess when in doubt, lay eggs. The wingspan rule. It always works, right? Let's put them all down here. I don't get the bonus. Their last turn, removing another worker. So 3 of their young turn into school. Ooh, these are kind of tough to grab with fat fingers. Now 4 of these eggs are turning into young. You could do like the little math conversion. Like you only spend 2 eggs, you only get rid of 1 young, earn a school. But I'm just doing it just to show you on screen that I'm doing it the right way. Now we're into week 2 scoring. Their base is 0. So they actually got 0 points. Wow. And I managed to rack in 6 points. Got me 3 full rows. So we're going to go into the 3rd week. For them, 3rd week is going to be school, and their base is actually still 0. Let's hope I kill them. I feel like I'm actually doing good this time around. Finally, I'll have a documented win without it being a tiebreaker win. All right. So I think I'm going to play this great northern tilefish. Go ahead and move my workers. So play a fish. He specifically has to go on the sun and the twilight zone. 2 cards. So we'll pay those 2 guys, and it costs an egg. So I'll probably do this one lonely egg right here. I'm going to place him over here in the sun zone. Daylight zone. Good. 4 points. All right, removing a worker. 3 of these turn into a school. We're going to take away 4 eggs for 4 young, and then he's going to earn 2 eggs. I'm going to go ahead and hatch some young here. Some eggs, I should say. So hatching him. If activated, hatch 2. I feel like that's a really good one. And it's not all players either. Hatch again, sure. This is all players. So I need to give him 4 eggs for being so nice. Now I'm into the move young. And then I get the bonus of moving another young, which will give me a school right there. They're going to add a meeple, worker meeple. 3 of these turn into a school. They're going to get 4 young, and then 2 eggs. Now I'm kind of at a loss as to what I want to do. I feel like I tried so hard. I set up a couple turns and I kind of fizzled out. I'm trying to get some eggs here. So egg. Actually I want to do the egg down here. This egg here. That egg right there. And then another egg. Try and line these up. Their turn. 4 of these guys. No school. So they're just going to turn 4 of their eggs into young and then 2 eggs. See their nice little pile right there. I think I'm going to do eggs again. So I kind of have a thought process here. Maybe. Feel like you have one and then it doesn't happen. We're going to add a worker up there to the goal. Draw a fish. Does not have an all player icon. So bummer. Alright, the bonefish. I could play him. Might as well get 4 points for an egg. So get rid of this egg here. It is an all players action, but whatever. Sun zone, not specified by color. But hey, that was a 1 to 4 exchange. They're going to add another. Ooh, we're actually going to have some competition here. They might actually beat me. So no player powers there, no all players power. I think I'll go ahead and hatch again. So I have someone here to hatch. Down, down. If activated, hatch twice. I'm running out of fishies. Hatch again. This one's an all players hatch. So I give them their 4 eggs, good for you. This is moving a fish, so I'll move right there to get a school, and then I don't get the bonus. And they're going to take away, oh man, we are tied. No, we're not. Now they're going to turn 3 of their fishes into a school. It's going to be up to 4 eggs into 4 young, and then they get 2 eggs. Are we fishing for fishies here? So that was the last turn of week 3. So now they have a base of 0, and they ended up getting 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. I can do simple math. And I have 3. So 2 times 3 is 6. So as of right now, I'm sitting at 16 points, and they're sitting at 8. So I'm actually double. I'm very surprised about that. They do have a good amount of cards here. They're going to score, I think, 7 points per card, and then 1 point per young over here. Thankfully, the last week is just a free-for-all. I do have 1 game in power, so I'm trying not to lay eggs in this left blue column, because then I can get at least 4 eggs over there just by doing the game in thing. So we don't have to switch over to that. This is the end of game scoring. So it's actually 3 points per card. I'm thinking Wormspan. 5 points per school, 1 point per young, 2 points per egg, and then points gained from the weekly scoring. And we're not doing the raffle mode. So we'll get this last week underway. I don't know how this is going to go because I don't have any cards to play. I don't know if I want to waste my turns getting fishes, but the more I place over here, the more points I'll get by doing this game in power. So I think I'm going to get some fish. So I'll go ahead and draw here. When played on each purple one, that's pretty nice. Bringing someone back. Which one has a lot of scoring? I could play you on top of someone. I think I'm going to risk it for the biscuit on that one. Drawing another card. Oh, porcupine fish. All players can move a young. So I have to give them 4 eggs. Basically, every time you're nice and activate player powers, you give them 2 points. Getting another fish card. And then bringing someone else back. I don't have to worry about Rose. I kind of want to get a cheap one up there in the sun, so I think I'll get him. It's the blue spine unicorn fish, way down here at the bottom. We don't have to worry about putting the meeples up there on the week scoring on the last round. So this does not have all players power. So I'll go ahead and play a fish. I want to play you. So you'll play, cost a young, and you have to consume someone. So I'm actually going to consume this pre-printed fish here, the glass head grenadier. So when played, all players, so they basically get 4 points, 2 points, me being nice to them. But I get to lay an egg on each of my purple fish. So that's 4 points, plus the 8 points of him. Beagles are here. All right, 3 fishies for a school. Getting rid of 4 eggs. Getting 1, 2, 3, 4 young. And now I think I want to keep playing. I want to get this left column filled out. So play fish. It's going to cost 1 card. Let's do the most expensive one because it seems like the right thing to do. Up there. It's going to be an all players action. I don't think I'm going to get any more fish cards. I might, actually. Let's not get rid of him. Let's get rid of that one. Expensive cards. So now we'll go here. They're going to turn 3 of their fish into a school. They're basically getting rid of 2 eggs to get 4 young. So now I'm kind of doing the quick math there. I'm being lazy about it. Oh, their schools fell. All right, so I think I'm going to play another fish. You cost a card, a young, and an egg, the swordfish. He'll go there. When played, I can hatch someone, and then I get 3 cards. So there's those. So now they're going to do 4 eggs, which I'm basically just going to turn into for 4 young. At this point in time, I think I'm just going for kind of points here. Am I really? So let me lay some eggs. Egg. All players get an egg. 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 And an egg. I'm nice and I gave them 4 eggs. Alright, they're going to get a card. It does not have an all players action, so last turn for me. Alright, the Beagle clan has left. Last turn, hatching. So you are going to hatch. Down, down. Ooh, get the hatch twice. Let's see, you and you. Hatch again. I don't know if it's worth it. Yeah, I'm going to kind of miss. All players hatch. So I'm going to give them basically 2 points. And I get the move. Turns that into a school. At the very bottom I get the move, which turns that into a school. And then their last turn, oh, it's card draw. They got 3 points because of the card draw. So now we're going to do game end. I only have game end here, so egg on each fish in the blue column. 2, 3, 4, 5. That was basically 6 points. So now we're going to go over the game end points. So I'm just going to scratch mine out because I'm going to give it to myself in the eggs. So points printed on visible fish. So let me add up. 4, 7, 8, 14, 18, 22, 28, 29, 31, 2, 33. 33 plus 8 is 41, 45, 6, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51. So I got 51. They get 3 points per card. So they got 10. So they got 30. 1 point per egg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They get half point per egg. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points. 8 points for them. I think I'm actually going to win. 1 point per young. Only have 1 young down there. They killed it with young. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Whoa, my pen. Now I would get 6 points per school. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'd get 30. They get 5 points per young school. 1, 2, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So 40. And then now here, consumed fish. I only have 1 consumed fish. So let me do some quick math and I'll give you my score here. All right, the results are in. I actually lost by 2 points here. 2 points. So maybe me activating all players' power at the very end here, doing all the hatching and moving around, Made me lose, but 2 points. Dang, that's actually one of the highest games that I've scored on, so I'm happy that I scored high, but they scored higher. Anyways, that's how you play solo. I'll take you to my quick review and let you know how I think about this game. Alrighty, thank you for watching the playthrough. Let me give you some final thoughts on Finspan, what I think of the solo mode as well as the multiplayer, because I've played it a few times multiplayer. So I like the solo because it's a very, very easy card system to run. All you do is flip that card over. There's 1 through 4. If you can't do the first one, don't do it. Move on to the next one. You just do as many as you can, and that's pretty much it. There's only really 2 things that the Automa is doing, either getting a fish card or collecting eggs and converting the resources. You, on the other hand, just doing your normal turn. And I like that. I have some very heavy games up here where you're basically running an entirely different kind of experience whenever you're playing the solo game. And this doesn't feel like that. You are playing the same game if you're going to play multiplayer. And I like the multiplayer. I will go as far to say that I don't think I want to bring Wingspan to the table as much anymore because of Finspan. This is much easier to show to people who don't play games. I've brought it out to people who are not gamers, and they pick up on it really quick. After about the second round, they're pretty much on their own. A lot of times when you're showing non-gamers like heavier games other than standard cards like Uno and Monopoly and all that, they tend to always default and look at you and ask you questions pretty much the whole game. And at the end, they feel like, well, I played a game, but I don't feel like I really played it. You just told me what to do the entire time. In Finspan, they feel like they're doing their own thing and you're not coaching them, asking a couple of questions, and that's about it. But after that, they're pretty autonomous. And I really enjoy that about Finspan, that they can kind of play a game instead of you teaching them and coaching them through an entire thing. Because most of the time when you play with these people, you're not going to play again. If you do, you're lucky. Hey, you get to play Finspan again, and they'll remember it, and they're probably going to still ask the same questions. This game's a lot easier for them to recall, unlike other games. I think I've played Wingspan a few times where he brought it back, and they're like, so what do I do now? And this is streamlined to where the resources are pretty much the fish, the eggs, and the young. Like, that's it. There's only 3 things. And the cool thing about that is that those in and of themselves are points and goals towards the game. So it heavily focuses on those mechanics. Spending your cards, earning your eggs, getting your young, and turning those into schools. And then kind of going back in a circle, you'll spin those to get more fish, to lay more eggs and more young. So it's very synergistic and everything fits. So there isn't anything about Finspan that kind of stands out and feel like you're doing it for no other purpose than to do it. Maybe the one thing I would say is the school. Once you get the school, you're kind of done. Maybe later on as an expansion, they could have schools be a resource where you spend to actually play a fish, or you could break them up. You could break up the school back into young, because if I remember right, you can't do that right now. So the moment it turns into a school, if you need to pay 1 young, you can't break those up. Maybe they could retroactively fix that. I don't know, who knows? So comparing this to Wingspan's solo, I think this is much easier to run. I dusted off Wingspan and played it. Granted, I played with all the expansions, so I have them all, to where you're playing with the Nectar and then you're doing the duet mode. It's a lot to manage, especially the tiebreaker for the duet map. Maybe if I was just playing the non-duet version, it would flow a little bit smoother, but I really feel like the Wingspan solo is clunky. Way more clunky, to where I'm bringing this out over Wingspan. Also, I like fish. I went fishing as a kid, a lot of saltwater fishing, so seeing these saltwater fish in here is really cool, and it's kind of nostalgic for me. So that's why I lean more towards Finspan. As you can see up here, I do have Wormspan on my shelf, and that card system is very, very similar to this one. Almost the same thing, where you're just flipping a card and just doing what it says. I like that. I like that Stonemaier Games has very simple Automa modes, to where you don't really have to learn a whole lot in order to have the same experience as a multiplayer. There are some of their games where the single player is a little bit different. Expeditions up here is different, but it's actually so different that it's good. Anyway, I'm getting away from Finspan. I would highly recommend this as a solo game. It's not a filler game, and it's not a huge thinky game. It can be as thinky as you want it. If you just want to go out there and play fish, just play fish. If you actually want to look at the goals and actually do each goal each week, you can think really hard about that. And then there's also the ravel mode, where I think the Altoma scores points depending on where you're placing your fish. I didn't do that because I can't beat the Altoma right now, and I'm not about to play where the Altoma is going to get even more points and beat me even more. So that's why I don't do the ravel mode as of yet. Once I think I start playing enough to get a good score, then I might. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. I will see you next time.